Chapter 36. Okay, I will definitely send someone to take good care of those ancient trees. In addition, I will find the spiritual pen and cinnabar that Mr. Chen needs. I will find it for Mr. Chen. I am very familiar with the true master of Lei Mingguan. Gu Wenchen said. Then thank you Gu. David nodded. It's getting late, I'm going back too. David looked at the time, it was almost noon, and he was going home for dinner. If Mr. Chen doesn't dislike it, then have a light meal here, and I will order someone to prepare it. Gu Wenchen asked cautiously. The current Gu Wenchen, who has long admired David's 5 bodies, wants to find a chance to curry favor with David. David looked at Gu Wenchen's expression and nodded, that would be annoying the ancients. Don't bother, don't bother. Gu Wenchen was overjoyed, and immediately ordered people to start preparing meals. In Horrendal Hospital, Jordan's arm has been bandaged, and Delia is taking care of him. This David, when I get better, I will kill him. Jordan roared, venting the anger in his heart. He interrupted his arm, disturbed his wedding, and made the Shao family a laughingstock in Horrendal. He couldn't swallow this breath. Brother Lei, don't be angry. I asked Fu Wei to find someone to clean up David. This time, he was looking for Lian Jiazi, and he will definitely beat David to half-death. Delia said while peeling the orange. If it wasn't for the Su family to block, David would have died a long time ago. Jordan gritted his teeth, his eyes were full of cold light. He took the peeled oranges by Delia and threw them into his mouth. At this moment, Delia's phone rang. After connecting, Delia's expression changed quickly, and then she hung up the phone. Who? Jordan asked. Fu Wei called. He said they were beaten by David, and Fu Wei's arm was also broken. Delia frowned. What exactly did David learn in 3 years in prison? How did it change? Do you have to fight like this? Trash, it's your classmates' trash, what kind of trainers and trash they can find, it seems that I have to find it myself. Jordan was even more angry at this time. Looking at Delia in front of him, he pulled over and ripped off his clothes. Ah, Brother Lei. Delia screamed, this is in the hospital ward. Jordan doesn't care about that, he needs to vent his anger, but when he was about to vent, he found that he couldn't do anything. Jordan panicked. He didn't understand what was wrong with him. Could it be that if his arm was broken, other places would also be affected? Lei, Brother Lei, are you too nervous? Delia asked cautiously. You're numb when you're nervous, lie down for me. Jordan shoved Delia abruptly and started to work again, but no matter how busy he was, it was useless at all. Cough cough cough. At this time, Xiao Yan walked in and saw his son following Delia, his face flushed and he coughed twice. Jordan was startled, and Delia was so scared that she quickly put on her clothes. It's bullshit, your arm is broken, can you be so bullshit? Xiao Yan reprimanded Jordan. Jordan lowered his head, but his eyes were full of anger and said, Dad, I want that David to die, I will let him die. Jordan blamed himself on David's head at this time. He broke his arm and caused this. In fact, David did it, but he didn't break his arm. But when he was in the Zheng family, David directly disabled Jordan's ability to be a man. Don't worry about this, just take good care of the injury. I want to investigate that David. Lin Tianyu didn't even move him. I want to see if there is any power behind this kid. Although Xiao Yan was also angry, he was not confused yet. He knew that Lin Tianyu would not move David, there must be a reason. Chapter 37. Dad, that kid. Shut up. Before Jordan could finish speaking, Xiao Yan gave him a stern look, so frightened that Jordan didn't dare to say anything. Uncle Xiao, I know David too well. There is no background force. We have been together since college. Her father used to be a civil servant. Delia sorted out her clothes and said to Xiao Yan. You know shish. T. Xiao Yan gave Delia a cold look. Women's opinion, if it weren't for you, Lair wouldn't be what she is now, she's a bum. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he left immediately. As for the wedding of Jordan and Delia, Xiao Yan was actually against it. After all, the two families were not in the same household. Jordan insists on marrying her. Delia's face turned red and white when she was scolded by Xiao Yan, but she didn't dare to refute a word. If you want to marry into a wealthy family, this is the price. This dead David, I will never spare him. After Xiao Yan left, Delia gritted her teeth. She didn't dare to do anything to Xiao Yan and Jordan, so she could only blame David. The Gu family's house, Gu Wenchen, Lin Tianyu, and David were enjoying the wine, and they were quite happy to eat this meal. The servants on the side looked at David's young age, and sat with the two big figures in Horrendal, chatting and laughing. All of them were envious. Mr. Chen, today is just a light meal. Tomorrow I will hold a feast at the Regal Hotel, and invite people from Horrendal's two political and business terms to participate. I want to introduce Mr. Chen in person. Gu Wenchen said with a proud face. Gu Wenchen's meaning was obvious, it was to pave the way for David. After this banquet, no one in Horrendal would dare to provoke David. David wants to refuse, he doesn't want to be too public, he just wants to cultivate and wait for the arrival of July 15th. But David hadn't spoken yet, but Lin Tianyu said, then I would like to thank Gu on behalf of Mr. Chen. With Gu's introduction, it will be much more convenient for Mr. Chen to work in Horrendal. David saw that Lin Tianyu agreed for him, so he didn't say anything, but nodded slightly, old and polite. After the three exchanged a few more words, David and Lin Tianyu left. Palace Master, this subordinate has just agreed to the invitation for the Palace Master, and I hope that the Palace Master will not blame him. Although our dragon sect's Juitenko has developed rapidly and our power has continued to expand, we are still unable to move an inch when we leave Horrendal. There are still a lot of forces staring at Horrendal, so we can only continue to strengthen our network. In the car, Lin Tianyu whispered to David to explain. David was slightly taken aback. Aren't you the Emperor of the Earth in Horrendal? Is there anyone who dares to oppose you? David didn't understand that Lin Tianyu was a god in Horrendal. Except for politicians, who would dare to provoke Lin Tianyu. After hearing this, Lin Tianyu said with embarrassment on his face, Palace Master, that's just being touted by ordinary people. In addition to our Jui Hall, there are also the Chelong Gang and Xingyu cult in the entire Horrendal, among which the small forces are even more powerful. Countless, we Juitang and the Chelong Gang are deadly enemies. Every year there will be fights and mutual damage. However, Feng Sihai, the leader of the Chelong Gang, doesn't know where to learn the hard Qigong. I am afraid that he is not his opponent now. Quote. David looked at Lin Tianyu, and he could see that Lin Tianyu's life in these years was not particularly good. In the eyes of outsiders, the scenery is just an appearance. People like them are in danger at any time. If someone troubles you, just find me directly. David said lightly. Since Juitang is his subordinate, of course David can't ignore it. Lin Tianyu was overjoyed. With the words of the Hall Master, I am not afraid of anything. When the Hall Master comes forward, the ghosts and gods will give way, not to mention a mere Feng Sihai. Lin Tianyu was shocked when he saw David destroy the 9 resentful dragons today, and he fell into the ground in admiration. David smiled, he didn't expect that Lin Tianyu's flattering skills were not bad. Chapter 38. After David returned home, his parents were not at home, so he should have gone out for a walk again. In such an environment, it would be better to go out more. No one bothered, David started cultivating in the room. He has to hurry up to cultivate now, because he doesn't know what he will face on July 15th. Although the old Irvin said that that day will give him a big opportunity, who knows whether this opportunity will be accompanied by danger. Sitting cross-legged, silently reciting the condensed heart formula, David's dantian began to slowly rotate, and the surrounding aura was slowly absorbed by David and entered David's body. Even without dinner, David practiced for another night. Call. When David opened his eyes, a cloud of turbid air spewed out of his mouth. I didn't expect the power of this resentful dragon to be so powerful. David clenched his fist lightly, feeling the strong power in his body. David actually broke through. Now David has reached the 5th level of Qi training. You must know that he has been in prison for 3 years and has the guidance of the old master, and he has only broken through to the 4th level of Qi training. It broke through to the 5th floor, which made David overjoyed. David seems to have found a way to cultivate quickly. As long as he absorbs some resentment and hatred, the speed of cultivation will increase exponentially. It's a pity that this kind of thing is hard to come by. Where can I find so many things with resentment and hatred? Taking a breath, David got off the bed and simply tidied up his clothes. Is it Miss Sue? I can't see it, but I can hear you walking. At this time, Barbara's voice came from the living room outside. Auntie, you are really amazing. Sonya smiled. Don't always yell like a young lady, it's more common, just call me Sonya. That's right, you're out, so I'll call you Sonya. Barbara smiled and nodded again and again. You're here to find David, right? He's still in the bedroom and hasn't come out yet. David, hurry up, Sonya is here for you. Barbara shouted towards David's bedroom. Auntie, don't shout, I'll call him. Sonya said, and walked straight to David's bedroom. Barbara almost jumped up in excitement when she heard Sonya walking towards David's bedroom. This kid also tricked me into being an ordinary friend. Will ordinary friends go directly to the bedroom? I really want to see what my future daughter-in-law looks like. Barbara muttered to herself. Wife, let me tell you, Miss Sus appearance, I am afraid that the whole horrendal is not so beautiful. Chen Baoguo walked to Barbara's ear and whispered. Really? Barbara was a little surprised. She knew that Chen Baoguo was very picky. When David and Delia were together, Chen Baoguo was resolutely opposed. Now that Chen Baoguo can say that, then Sonya's appearance must not be picked. My son is so talented. He just came out and found such a girlfriend, and he was hiding it from us. Barbara looked proud. Of course, don't look at who the son is with, if there is me in front, our son will be no worse. Chen Baoguo was also very satisfied with David at this time. His gloomy face before was now wearing a smile all day long. Okay, don't blow it, take me out for a walk, and leave a two-person world for the two children. Barbara said, dragging Chen Baoguo out of the villa. On the other side, Sonya pushed the door and walked into David's bedroom. When she saw David standing under the bed in complete clothes, Sonya was stunned. Didn't you already get up? Why, you don't want me to get up, do you want to see me take off my clothes? David said half-jokingly. Bah, who sees the way you take off your clothes? Sonya rolled her eyes at David, but she was still a little excited. David was able to joke with her, which proved that the relationship between the two people has obviously improved a lot. I have something to do with you, come with me. Sonya dragged David away involuntarily. David wanted to ask where to go, but Sonya directly pulled David into the car. But looking at the time, it was still too early for Ji Wenchen to invite him to the banquet, so David let Sonya take him away. Chapter 39. Tianyuan Mall. This is a very famous shopping mall in Horrendal, almost all major brands have it. Seeing Sonya bring herself here, David was a little surprised. Do you want me to go shopping with you? David asked timidly. You must know that it is a very scary thing to accompany a girl to the mall. David once felt it. Back then, he accompanied Delia to the mall for a day, and he already had a psychological shadow. Why, are you not willing to accompany me? Sonya looked at David and asked. That's not it. David shook his head. In fact, David was a little proud to accompany Sonya to the shopping mall. How to say Sonya's identity and appearance are all first class. How many people can accompany such a girl to the shopping mall? People are envious, but David has something to do at noon. He has already promised Ji Wenchen that he can't let other people's pigeons go. I still have something to do at noon, I'm afraid it will be delayed. David said truthfully. I don't care about you, the main task now is to accompany me to go shopping. After Sonya finished speaking, she dragged David into the mall. Looking at the dazzling array of products, Sonya dragged David to find the men's clothing area, and then gestured on David's body one by one. Are you going to buy me clothes? David was a little surprised. If I don't buy it for you, who will I buy it for? I can't hold any more clothes at home. Sonya said. Her hands were not idle, she chose one by one, and finally picked out a suit and put it in David's hand. Go and try. Quote. David held the suit and didn't move for a while Sonya urged, what? Let me go in and try it on for you. No. David hurriedly shook his head and hurried into the fitting room. Seeing David so frightened, Sonya laughed, and the tenderness in her eyes became more and more obvious. When David changed clothes and came out, Sonya's eyes suddenly lit up. Looking at David up and down, looking a little surprised. I didn't expect your potential to be so great, wearing this dress, you are obviously much more handsome. Seeing Sonya's narcissistic appearance, David couldn't help but also looked in the mirror, and found that he was really handsome. Since he was in prison to practice with the old master, David's material requirements have become less and less. Now that he is out of prison, although he has money, he still wears the old clothes from before. He has never thought about changing his clothes. If he has time to buy clothes, he might as well practice for a while. What are you going to do with me? To the wedding, David asked Sonya. Don't worry about it, this is more important than a wedding. Sonya took David to buy shoes and a watch, and directly dressed David into a tall, rich and handsome look. As soon as he came, he was at peace. David could only helplessly be dragged around by Sonya, and David had more and more things on his body. Ties, belts, and even a lighter. Sonya spent tens of thousands of yuan to buy one for David. As far as David's outfit is concerned, I'm afraid there are not hundreds of thousands who can't come down. Isn't that a bit too extravagant? David was wearing this outfit and felt that he didn't dare to walk. He couldn't understand what rich people like Sonya thought. What was the point of buying a suit of clothes for hundreds of thousands and a lighter for tens of thousands of dollars? What's so extravagant about it? You used to wear it too shabby. I won't let you wear it like that in the future, or I will be laughed at. Sonya said lightly. But after speaking, Sonya felt as if she had said something wrong, and her face instantly turned red. And David also heard it and smiled slightly. I wear shabby clothes, why would anyone laugh at you? When David asked, Sonya's face turned even redder, so she could only glare at David and said, I have said in public that I want to be your girlfriend, of course others take it seriously. You dressed shabby, didn't you just slap me in the face? I won't tell you, I'll go to the bathroom, you wait for me here. Sonya made an excuse and left quickly. Chapter 40. David smiled and stood there waiting for Sonya. After seeing David, many girls who passed by turned their eyes back unknowingly. There were even several who came to chat and asked for contact information, but were rejected by David. At this time, on the other side of the mall, Delia and Zhang Wenjing also came to visit the mall. Yesterday, Delia was scolded for her wholeheartedness, so she plans to buy today to make herself feel better. Delia, look quickly, there's a handsome guy standing across from him, you'll be fascinated by looking at the back. Zhang Wenjing said to Delia with some excitement. When Delia heard Zhang Wenjing's words, she hurriedly looked up, and she saw a tall boy wearing a suit, standing straight across from him. Just by looking at the back, he could feel the noble temperament of the boy. Stop being a back kill, right? Delia said in a low voice. Impossible, I can feel it, this must be a handsome guy. Delia, you already have young Master Shao, and this handsome guy will be handed over to me. After Zhang Wenjing finished speaking, she walked over impatiently. Delia was also curious and hurriedly followed. Handsome guy, are you waiting for someone? Zhang Wenjing stepped forward, patted the boy on the shoulder and asked. But when the boy turned around, Zhang Wenjing and Delia were all stunned on the spot. Chen, David, why are you? Zhang Wenjing said in surprise. Delia was also full of shock. She had been with David for several years, and she had never seen David before. It seemed that people really depend on clothes and horses on saddles. Why can't it be me? David said with a cold smile when he saw Delia and Zhang Wenjing. How can you come to this mall? The things here are very expensive. Zhang Wenjing said with a puzzled face. The things in this mall are very expensive. Ordinary people have no conditions to come. In Zhang Wenjing's eyes, David's family conditions are not even ordinary enough. How can they come to this mall, and the clothes on them seem to be valuable not cheap? Is the mall opened by your house? I can come if I want. David unceremoniously choked Zhang Wenjing, and immediately choked Zhang Wenjing to the point of being speechless. David, as far as you are virtuous, even if a toad wears a dragon robe, you can't become a dragon anyway. I don't know where to buy cheap goods, come here to pretend to be a girl, bah. Delia spat fiercely at David. Whether he can become a dragon, it's not something you chicken can say. Before David could speak, Sonya came over with a bit of coldness on her face. Wipe off your shish. Tea for me. Sonya pointed at Delia spit on David's clothes and said. Seeing that it was Sonya, Delia flinched a bit in her eyes. Compared with Sonya, what is she, Delia, who is the richest lady in Horrendal? But in front of so many people in the mall, they called her a chicken and asked her to clean David's clothes. Of course Delia was not happy. You, don't be so mean, don't bully people just because you are the eldest miss of the Su family. Delia tried her best to keep her momentum. I told you to wipe it off, can't you hear it? You said that if I slap you twice now, would Jordan dare to find me? The momentum on Sonya's body obviously suppressed Delia, causing Delia's body to shake slightly. Delia knew that Sonya beat her for nothing, and Jordan would not follow the Su family for her. David looked at Delia like that, the corner of his mouth was slightly raised, and he sneered without saying a word. I'll wipe, I'll wipe. Seeing this, Zhang Wenjing hurriedly took out a tissue, wanting to replace Delia and wipe it off for David. What are you? Can you touch my boyfriend too? Sonya directly pushed Zhang Wenjing away. Zhang Wenjing's face flushed with embarrassment, but she didn't dare to let go of AF.art. Delia didn't dare to provoke Sonya, and she didn't dare.
Please subscribe to follow the next more exciting chapters.